Good morning. Happy Sunday. Happy July. Happy 2nd of July. And to all of those in America, happy 4th of July when it comes. Not quite yet, so don't get too excited. Time to have a look at this first. Sorry if I'm a bit late. I was just sorting out the staffing issues. They're on cooking duties, which is not ideal, but, you know, needs must. So, can I just check? Can you hear me properly? Just trying to check. If you could, I think you can, but I'm just double checking because I'm not quite sure what. Yeah, you can. Lovely. Thank you. Thank you very much. So, card kit. Now, card kit's a little bit different this month, because it is a much bigger die set than we've had just recently, and you're going to get enough for 2 cards. So, bear with me whilst we do 2 cards for you. They are fairly quick and easy cards, and I need to run through it all with you. So let me just show you, before I show you the cards in detail, let me just show you the die set in detail. Now it's all loose there, so I need to turn it over. And this is it. It is the Indian Ocean collection, and it's the background die from Sue Wilson. There are 7 dies in total. And if I turn it back over, you will see that it's a sort of a nesting set. So you've got the outer one, which has no outer or inner cutting edge. So that enables you to do it slightly larger, however you wish. So that's the die number 1. Die number 2 is just a plain edge, because that then becomes the cutting bit for the middle, if you so wish. Then die number 3, let's put this over here so you can see. Die number 3 has, again, no outer or inner cutting edge, but then that's what these pieces here are for. So you've got that one there, which gives a very pretty design. What I think was ideal for that one is you could really do lots of different sentiments and things. You can turn this one round, and I'll show you in a second, but you've got a very pretty just sentiment panel, which is quite a nice idea. So that's those. Then you've got an inner cutting edge for that one. So that goes into there. Then you've got a very ornate middle piece, which again has no inner or outer cutting edge, but you've got this piece here. So it's all very cleverly designed so that you've got all those different ways to go around it. Then you've got an inner cutting edge. And finally, a little diddy one. Now, that is the only one that I haven't used in my cards today. So I've used all of these. So hopefully you will get the use out of all of them as well, and you will see. So let me just put them to one side and explain what you're going to get in your card kit. So in your card kit, you will get some coloured cardstock. You'll get a white piece of card. You'll get 2 top folding 5x7 card blanks. So they obviously can then be used that way round if you wish. And the designs that I've done today can be used either way. But I just thought it was a bit different than having a side folding. So they're top folding, and you have 2 of those because you've got enough to make 2 cards out of what we've got today. You will also get an embellishment pack, which will contain a cut-out butterfly for one of our cards, like so. Pop that to one side. Whoops. And you also have in it a little piece of sort of white cards. Now, for this card here, this is for here, you're going to get the layered daisies to go on here, because I felt that they worked really well. And I know that I don't usually put a sentiment in, but I know that there was quite a few people that said about a previous card kit that we did that they had trouble trying to find a sentiment for it. So I saw this one and I thought that one worked really well. So I'm just stamping up a piece of piece of white card that you'll find in your kit, just with that on, so that if you wish, you can use that sentiment, but if you prefer not to, that's absolutely fine as well, and obviously change your own sentiment. But I thought, well, I'll put that in so that you have got something if you wish to have it. The only sentiment that you don't have is the one that's going to go on this card. Oops, picking up sticky tape. That one I felt that you really could do whatever you want to. You will have enough card left over to be able to cut out a sentiment from it. So again, it could be one of your own ones stamped, one of your own one die cut, whatever you want to put on it. Okay, so without further ado, let's make a start with, let's put all these pieces back where they should be, with this one. All right, so the colours that you will get, the colour card that you will get will vary, but the butterflies have been cut out in such a way that they will complement whatever colour card that you have got. So they will be one set of ordinary colour, the colour that you've got in the card, and another one to complement it to make your butterfly. The only thing you really need to add is glue and a bit of foam, because foam is your friend, is it not? So let us, without further ado, as I said, let's carry on. So I'm going to take one of my top folding cards. So I'll pop that to one side. And then I'm going to take my coloured piece of card. And to start off with, I'm going to cut out a piece of card that is 12 centimetres by 17. So in order to be completely frugal with my card, I'm going to make it so that the 12 centimetres is cut out along this short side, okay? And if you're in 2 inches, it's about 4 3/4. So 12 then by 17 or 6 3/4. That's all the measurement that you need. How about that? You do not need any other measurements whatsoever. The rest of it is all using your dies. So I'm going to take die number 1 only. So that is the biggest die in the set. And I'm not going to put a cutting die in the middle. I'm just going to give it plain. So again, there's so many different ways with this type of die that you can use it, but this one I think just sums it all up. Grab hold of it. I'm going to pop it through my die cutting machine. I'm going to go that way so that it will catch as much of the cutting edge as possible, but the dies are of very good quality, so they do cut out nicely, and there's lots of detail in it, lots of sort of lacy bits in it. As always, before you actually do anything with it, check that it has cut through, but you can see already that it's cut through an awful lot there. So then I'm just going to remove that carefully, and I'll just pop out those extra little bits onto there. So you can see that it gives you a really pretty edge. I seem to be into my 5x7s at the moment. I find that they're a really nice size to work with. I like all card sizes really. What's your favourite card size to work with? I quite like a 7x7, but then 5x7 is just about right for me. So that is going to go onto my card base like that. I'm going to stick that down in just a second, and that is going to go straight onto my card base. Okay, so let's just scoop all these bits. Like so. Then I'm going to take my white piece of card. Now, I'm not measuring anything here, but I need a piece of it. I don't want to work with all of it. And the only size that I'm fitting it in is that size. So I'm just going to trim that down with a pair of scissors. I don't need to work with a great big piece of card at this stage. So I'm taking die number 2, which is just the plain edge die. And I'm then taking die number 3 as well. So that was that really pretty edge that I said about. And I'm just going to grab hold of that one first. Grab hold of that one first. Pop that down and then just hover that over the top so that I can get that fairly straight. Pick that up together and then pop those 2 down. So that's going to give my panel, not putting an inner cutting edge, so I just wanted to do it like this. And you'll see in a minute that this is the one that I said would make a really lovely sentiment panel for any cards, really. I think that without the butterfly, you could put in a flower or something like that and just make it into a basic shaped one like that, so it would be good. So again, just check all those bits out, but you can see that they all are cuts out beautifully. Now, these card kits at the moment, I try to make them the best value. So then probably not very often going to be the up-to-date dies that one can see around at the moment, because obviously they are top price, are the ones that are like that. But I do like to give value for money. And I think, although this one is fractionally more money, you get a very good quality die set for it, but you also get 2 cards, whereas normally we just do the one. So hopefully the extra price is sort of equated a little bit. So I'll just pop that to one side for the minute and clean off that bit of die as well. Die cuts, pretty pattern. Right, so they are all ready to go. So bring in my pieces again here. So if I put my card down on here, let's get this actually stuck on, which would be good if I'd have brought the right glue in, and I don't think I have. So let's go for this glue and hope. I had a lovely workshop yesterday. I always have lovely workshops, but I had a lovely in-person workshop yesterday, which wasn't very far from my house, which was just as well, because I kept having to go back for things that people said, oh yeah, like that, different colour card. So that's what we did. Kept me fit, keep going back. But you can see probably from the Facebook group, there's some lovely choices of different bits and pieces there. So that was good as well. So I'm going to put that onto my top folding, going to leave it with, I can see a little bit of rogue. Now I'm going to get glue all over me. Saw a little bit of a rogue piece there. Let me grab a tissue because I've now got ink, not ink, glue on my hands. So just press that down nicely. There we go. That's better. Didn't want to get mucky hands over it. So then we've got our plain piece here. Now I'm just going to put a little bit of foam onto the back of it. Again, you don't have to, but I really do think that foam is your friend, and it just makes all that much difference. I was saying to one of our lovely ladies yesterday, who is a new lady to craft, and we were talking about how do you sort of step up your level of crafting. And I do think that a little bit of foam does make so much difference, personally. I know not everyone does. And I know that that does mean, as I think you're saying there about the postage, but you know, I know the postage has gone up an awful lot, which is frustrating for us all. But if you've gone to the time and effort of making a beautiful card, you can send that from sort of one end of the country to the other for about like £2. And in all honesty, if you had to get a train and take it or something. But yeah, it all has to be taken into consideration. Now, at this stage, we could decide whether we want this card to now be a side folding, but obviously a longer length than we normally have, or the top folding. Because when we go to put our sentiment on and our butterfly, we then might want to make it different. So I think I will probably go to make this one to be it different. To be it different? Golly, that isn't very good English, is it? Oh, you know what I mean. I think I'm going to think about putting it on that way, but I'm not 100% sure. So let me just put my beautiful butterfly together first and use my highlighter glue for this. So your butterfly is from one of the layered butterflies of Spellbinders. Yes, I do seem to be in love with Spellbinders at the moment. And wait till you see the better press. If you haven't seen that yet, I'm going to be bringing that to you very, very soon, and I love it. So we will talk about that later. You've got 3 butterfly pieces, and then you've got the body. So you just need to pop a little bit of glue onto the back. Well, you could stick it all on, but I don't want to. I just want to put it all on just so that it's really floating. So that goes exactly, if you're trying to place it, you just want it to be exactly over the top of the other one, but I'm just gluing it in the center there. And then this little diddy one here, again, I'm just gluing it in the center. Not a lot of glue to hold on, for it to hold on to. I will give you that. And then again, to position it, just make sure that your wings are exactly on top of the wings below, because then that is exactly where it needs to go. And then the body, a little bit of glue on it. Oh, a little bit, she says, and smothers it. Don't put as much as I just did on. Let's just put that over there. And then that goes over there, like that. Let me just, that'll do. I just want to just press that down and make sure that that stays stuck. Let me show you that. Hold on. Hold on a minute. There's your little beautiful butterfly. So that's going to go onto our card. And as I said, try and wait for it to, not very good at that. You could lay it completely flat. The whole thing can be completely flat if you don't put your phone onto there. And as could this, because you've got an awful lot of design in that butterfly. But of course, I've got to make it so it stands out. And then I've cut a sentiment. This time I've done sending much love, because it fits in there quite nicely. Just pop a little bit of glue onto that. Not the most ideal glue for this. As I said, my glue, I still got it all packed from yesterday. So I'm just popping some onto the into there. Not ideal. Oops. There's my sentiment. And then a little bit of glue. I'll put that on with this to stick my butterfly down. So that's your first card done using dies 1, 2, and 3. And just one cutting edge that you needed to know. And so you can either do that, your card orientation can either be sideways, like this one, so side folding, or top folding, as in the other one. Let me just grab that for you. So we either had one that I've made today, which is side folding, opens up that way, or top folding, and it opens up that way, whichever you fancy. So that is card 1. Okay, so let's pop them to one side. So card 2 is again another top folding card. Scoop those bits of card around. And we are then going to be using dies. Let's bring the die set back in. We're then going to be using dies number 4. Five and 6 for this card. And as I said, the only die that I haven't used is that tiny one there. So dies number 4, 5, and 6. So I'm going to pop that one to one side because these are the two that I need to cut together to start off with. So die number 4 gives you that outer edge or a solid piece, okay? But the two together will then give you a very pretty panel. And I'm going to cut that out again of the coloured sheet that we had. So that's my piece left over from the coloured sheet. And I'm going to put these two together. Grab hold of them in the same way as I did before. So I'm just taking a piece of longer tape than I normally would use. Popping that over the centre so that it acts as a handle, picks up those two pieces. Pop that into position. And then just hover that over the top so that I can try and get an even border all the way around. And that way, because I'm actually going to cut 3 of these panels, I know then that they're all going to be the same. Okay, so I'm just going to run that one through. I have already cut the other 2 out, but you will need to cut out 3 like this. Okay. And there we go. Sorry, I'm just noticing you're talking about the highlighter. Yes, it's called a Cosmic Shimmer highlighter, and I do have it. I'm pretty certain it's on the website. Oh, that reminds me, when you're looking at the website, I've tried to change things a little bit so that it's a bit easier for you to have a look, because sometimes there can be all sorts of things there which are both out of stock or not able to get even sometimes. So I've tried to clear it up a bit, but I've also changed it so that if you're looking on a phone for sure, the mobile version of it will show you all YouTube products, the first thing that you see. So that will be with this type of thing. Obviously, this is also in the monthly kit section as well. So ordinarily, because I wanted to do 3, but I've already done them, I would just then peel off that like I have done, and then you've got that all ready to go to cut your 2 other ones. But you can see then that sort of panel, which again gives you a nice border to make a sentiment of any sort for that one. Okay, so 2 more out of there, plus from there you get your sentiment from the first card. Okay, just clear off this bit again. And then before we go any further, once you've cut your other 2 pieces, you're then going to take just the outside die, pop that one to one side. So die number 4 only from your white piece of card. And you want to cut 3 of these as well. Okay. So let's just pop that to one side. So 3 of these pieces. Now, in this particular case, you'll see in a minute, because we've got a white card background, you could argue that you don't really need to cut these white pieces. But I found that for stability, it was better to cut the backgrounds and stick them straight onto backgrounds rather than just have them free floating. Okay, but that's entirely up to you, but you do have the card with which to do it. So I do suggest that that might be something that you do like I have done. So that is going to go directly onto there. And I am putting it more here, but I could have done with spray glue really, couldn't I? Pop that directly onto there like that. Whoops. Sure it is, and turn it over so there I can get all my mucky paw prints, but they're all on the wrong side as opposed to the right side. Okay, plus I've then got glue on it. What am I like? So then let's bring in my other 2 pieces, which I've already done, and stick them together. Taking out these little bits first. So with the card kits from July, going to be introducing a second card kit. Now, all of the card kits are limited editions because they're limited literally by the amount of dies that I can get for you. Because I do tend to, as I say, take them to give you good value for money. I tend to give you something that is possibly on a limited amount of dies available in the first place. And so this one is much more limited than I thought it was going to be. I didn't realise that there was as few dies of this as available. So once these are gone, they're gone. And because I think and hope that these will be gone quite quickly, I am going to be doing a second monthly kit, but that will be on a regular basis. And that will be probably the middle week of the month. So give you chance to either get this one and then hopefully get it and make it. But I know what it's like. We get them and then we think we'll do that. But you know, it's always nice to have something. You could even give it away as a gift, couldn't you, to a fellow crafter? But anyway, we've got excuse me. We've got second kits coming out and they are equally as lovely. That will be in a couple of weeks' time for you to look out. Okay, so just turn that over. Hoping now I haven't got glue on there. But hey ho, who knows? So I've now got 3 panels that are all the same. I'm going to turn them over and I'm going to put some foam on them. Now again, you might not want to put foam on them, but you could, so therefore, of course, you could have these completely flat, whatever you fancy. Let's just put a bit on there. But I think it looks nice with that on there. Now, bringing our card back over. So this is for a top folding one. You can, I'm going to put them like this when I put them on here, but of course you could then decide that your card should be kind of that way round. The only difference if you go that way round is that your piece with the sentiment on, which would be the center, you could, I suppose, you could even do it like that, couldn't you? But your sentiment then you might need to rethink, because it might need to be the sentiment that fits in this square but long ways round. Yeah, so I can go ahead and take these off. Now I should try my best to get them centered. So I've sort of placed them already as they could be. The main thing is that I want to make sure that there's equal distance from side to side. So that is only going to be by, as they call it, eyeballing it. And I'm just going to kind of gently put it on there so that I've got a chance, because I'm putting wet glue on the back of this, I have got a vague chance of being able to move them a little bit. So I'm just now going to line these up with this edge here, hopefully giving it the same sort of distance. I might need to move them, we shall see. And then finally this one. So I've only just really just gently placed them on there at the minute, just in case, but I think they're all right. I think they're fine actually, so I should push them down. Okay, so if we're going along with the side folding way, I'm then going to take die number 6, which was this one here, this little one, and that is the one that fits over beautifully for the sentiment that you will have already stamped out for you. But as I said, that's only as a sort of, you might want to use it, you might not. And I quite understand. You might not want to say thanks to anyone. But if you did, it's already there. And if not, I'm afraid it's finding one from your stash that might fit in equally. Just put that through. And then that is going to go into the centre there. Not going to put any foam on top of that. And again, if you want your flat cards, you can equally do this without any of your extra pieces on. So then I'm just going to come over with my layered daisies. So you will have 2 in your pack, 4 pieces all together. of the flowers, and then 2 of the centres, which I can't pick up. Where's my picker up at all? It's gone right over to the centre there. So if you recall from before, just going to mould these very, very slightly. You could, of course, colour these if you wish, but I felt that they went in just nicely without having to do anything to them, apart from perhaps a little bit of colour onto the centerpieces. So a little bit of glue in the centre there and there, which will take our daisies. Chance to grab. And then our centre of our daisy. Now, do we want to colour it? I think we do. What's this one? Aloe vera. I don't know that we've got any people on board that are Vera, so I'm sorry if there's no Veras, but aloe vera if you are there. This one's especially for you. Ooh. Just giving it a little bit of colour, picking it up like that. Whoops. But you don't have to. You don't have to colour that if you don't want to. You could put gems in the middle. You could put anything really. Now that is going to be wet for a minute or two. But hey ho. Oh, very wet. Oh gosh, that was a near disaster. It was a near disaster, but I think I can just get away with it. This is Verse Magic, which is beautiful for blending, but not really for doing what I just did, because it should have dried quickly and it didn't. And then now that's wonky, and I can't be doing with the wonky one either. Don't do it with that ink. So we're going to have one of our flowers pointing that way and one of our flowers pointing that way. And then we are done. So 2 cards. Let's remember that that's wet. Oh dear. Should have gone with a different colour or a different ink, that's for sure. Not least for the fact I was telling all my people yesterday about inks. So I should have listened to myself, should I not? So it will dry. It's just going to take a while to dry. So there we go. There are our 2 cards. And as I said, to recap, you will get 2 card blanks. Oh, let's find the other card. You will get 2 card blanks, both top folding, so that you can do top folding or side folding. You will get your butterfly, which will be the same colour and then with a coordinating colour as the card that you get. So there's various different colours. You will get a variety of that, okay? The only thing you won't get is the sentiment that goes on this one, because I felt that there were lots of sentiments that you might want to choose instead, but you will get just a little piece of square paper with this sentiment in for here. Should you wish to use it, you just use your die number 6 to cut that out, but otherwise other dies obviously that you might want to use, or stamps I should say, whichever for that. You also get your butterflies and your layer daisies to complete your cards. So that is the first July kit, shall we say. So because this one was going to be on a short number, I will be doing another one later on in the month. But for the 2nd of July, this is the July card kit. So I will be back on the 5th of July, which is Wednesday. So Wednesday evening, I will be here at 6 o'clock, which will be great if you can join me. As I said, if you go over to the website, any of the items that I've used today or during any YouTube live will now be under the All Things YouTube live products. So that's where to go for that. The last thing that I'd like to ask you is, could you please share the video, share this video with as many friends or groups as you like. tick to say how much you enjoyed it. At the bottom of your bit, you'll see just like a little tick, and that's, or a thumbs up, I think, and that's what I'd love you to do. Any interaction is always good for me to get this out there and see as many people as possibly can. So thank you so much. Really love to see you here. Thank you again, and I will see you very, very soon again on Wednesday, I hope, at 6 o'clock. Take care till then. Thank you very much. Oh, June, you're not going to be in hospital. Oh, my goodness. Sending all love to June Halford-Wells, who's going to be in hospital on Tuesday for an operation. So I do hope that all goes well with that. And hopefully you might even be recovered enough to see it on Wednesday. Bless you. Take care, June, and everybody else. Sending love to you all. Thank you very much. Bye.